tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Dina Eisenberg. I'm a lawyer turned onboarding strategist. I help solo and small firm lawyers hire and train the perfect legal staff, particularly paralegals.
Awesome. And so what was going on with your business and kind of what kind of goals did you have coming into Content Bootcamp?
Yeah, I know. I really am in a very niche position with lawyers. They're usually not thinking about their staff, and they're certainly not thinking about how they interact with staff. And while I was making headway, I wasn't making enough progress. And honestly, I was struggling so much with selling to lawyers because I just had some, limiting beliefs about what could happen.
What kind of beliefs?
Well, mainly that I was sort of bothering people if I was offering my services to them. And I really struggled with how to make that enrollment call work for me.
Yeah. And so what happened after you got into the program and kind of started getting into it, getting into the trainings? How have you been able to overcome those beliefs?
Absolutely. So, you really kind of kicked my butt in the most positive way possible. I think I learned so much about who I am and how I process information by going through the boot camp. Specifically, I really got comfortable with reaching out to people that I didn't know. There's always this hesitation about, well, I don't know them. Well, what will they want? And, what will they think of me because I'm bothering them in the middle of doing blank, blank, blank. And really all of that was just my head noise because as a lawyer, you tend to be, and I'm a lawyer, we tend to be skeptical. We tend to wonder why people are approaching us and not necessarily with the most openness. And so I brought those feelings to reaching out to other people. And so I was always like trying to duck, like they're going to be mad any minute now. So I better be ready to move out of the way. And that's how I was thinking about it. But what I was able to do through the course is to hear myself making those assumptions, stop myself from doing them, and realize that it wasn't that serious, that I could reach out to lots of people. And in fact, doing that, the more people I reached out to, the more comfortable I got with approaching folks that I didn't really know. I got to try on different styles in terms of how I approached them until I found the one that was really most comfortable for me. And once that got into place and my confidence grew, then I was able to really focus on, okay, what's happening once I get them onto the strategy call? And then the key there was the steps that you walked me through in terms of, how to listen to what their problem is, how to really think about their pain points and get them to acknowledge them instead of me telling them, but having them acknowledge, okay, these are the things that are really bothering me. And then getting to that point where everybody kind of falls down on their sword, which is making the offer. And so I got so much better at doing all of those things by being part of the boot camp.
Awesome. And what's been some of the results?
Great results. So, I've had more folks engage with me. I ran my last signature program and I actually filled 3 spots, which in the past, was really a big struggle. This time around, it was so much easier to do because I had that framework for going through the calls. I've been invited to do all kinds of speaking engagements in front of my ideal audience because I've just been much more clear about putting my own thoughts into the world. So before I was a little bit hesitant about being declarative, like this is it. I was much more, if you kind of like that, you might like me. And going through the boot camp, I just got more comfortable and more confident about saying, no, you're making these mistakes. Here's what the problem is with that. And here's how you fix it in a very strong, confident way so that people were like, oh, yeah, okay, you're right. I see that now. And yeah, I want to work with you.
And you have a pretty big opportunity coming up in terms of speaking, right?
I do. Because I've been so clear with my messaging lately, I was invited to speak to a conference of my ideal clients. So lawyers are my ideal clients, and this is a bar conference for bar association presidents. So there'll be over 100 presidents in the room, and they will be able to hear me share my message and my solution with them, and then take it back to all of their bar associations. So just ideal. I couldn't get any better than this. And what the
Awesome.
nice thing is that I feel prepared for what's going to happen next.
Right, because you know how to handle the leads, you know how to reach out to people, and you're an introvert, right?
I am a little bit of an introvert. It's funny because I started out my career as a big old hunkin' extrovert. Like I was all over the place. And as the years have gone by, I've just gotten much more introverted. And so I've had to learn to manage that because, I am my brand and I have to be able to present myself whether or not I feel introverted.
So how have you been able to manage that? Because I talk to a lot of people who think that because they're introverted, they can't do effective marketing.
You know what? I've just largely said, get over yourself. And that's really been with your encouragement. It's like, so what, you don't want to do it. It's not about how you feel on every given day. You cannot be like the willow in the wind shifting. You really have to be, more like the trunk and the roots. You have a firm position, you know what your goals are, and you know what you have to do to reach those goals. And so really the idea of having a daily direction and spending some time every morning focusing on what my goals are and really retraining my brain to think about this differently has made a huge difference in the fact that I'm still an introvert, but I just know that now I have tools to manage that so that it doesn't get in the way of my business process.
Yeah, so you're able to focus more on what the result is that you want and the importance of that to you, and then not let that get in your way. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, less on how I feel on any given day, more focus on what I want the outcome to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what would you tell somebody who is looking in from the outside and they're thinking about this and they're wondering if they should inquire or if they should do it?
Well, first of all, I think if you're wondering whether or not you should do it, that's something in your being saying this is the right thing. And so we always have to follow our inner guidance. And if you're wondering if this process is going to work for you, it is. You have to, of course, take it seriously. I think folks get into programs and they want to piecemeal it. So they'll take this piece and that piece, and then they'll think about whether or not they'll do the third thing. This is not that kind of program. If you're joining this program, really, you have to have faith, broad sale, the whole thing. You have to do what you're asked to do without a lot of whining or wincing about it. Just do it because you'll get the outcome. For me, that's been the whole magic, is that I've always been someone who is pretty determined about doing things my own way. And through the boot camp, I was able to let that go because I had a lot of trust in you and just do what you told me to do. And that has been the magic because it's not me questioning, is this the right thing? Well, how do I do it? It's just doing the steps. So that's what I would encourage people to do. If you're having an inclination that you should do the program, the answer is yes. And then once you're on the inside, what you really need to tell yourself is that you made the commitment to doing it this way, and you are going to do it exactly this way. No deviation, just do the work.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right. And where can folks find you if they're attorneys and they need your help?
You know what? First, I have to thank you so much for just being such a great beacon and a light. I think the way that you lead really is the way that lots of people can relate to and learn from. So thank you so much. If folks really want to get in touch with me, I would be delighted to talk to them. They can reach me on my website, which is outsourceeasier.com.